the world. This is JWP, J Ward Primo Beats, coming to you live from my bedroom. Check out my website, jwpsite.com, for my social links, latest news and updates, and public offerings. If you'd like to help support what I do, check out my Patreon, JWP Patreon, with 2 Ps. There's some exclusive content there and how to make your own plugins and synth edit, or my GoFundMe, JWP Fund. If you're watching this on YouTube, a like, comment, and or subscribe are appreciated. I'll be continuing along, doing some mixing in FL Studio, some of my older beat catalog, and yeah. Art Entity coming through. Zane in the building. Seems kind of quiet today. Usually I would have about 4 links, people wanting me to check out their tracks. Band Lab must be sleeping today. And I'm quite late too, so a few minutes. So last time I was looking at phase optimization and I was comparing tracks. So the idea here is that we lit today's Tuesday morning. Is it? I thought it was Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Wednesday. Okay, so the idea is that mixing day, it's the mixing day every day lately. My catalog is extensive, 25 years of music. So I want to go through most of it. As I get towards like more recent stuff, it'll be sort of up to par. It'll just need its mastering, but still a lot of the older stuff needs like a lot of mixing. I had a lot of crap EQs and lots of roll-offs that were kind of in bad places. Just all around, stereo wasn't great. All around, they all kind of sort of need to work. This is where I'm at right now with this. Actually, I can't play that because that's just dry. Phase Isotope RX. So I didn't really look at this last time, but this is what phase does. So let's actually look at the help documentation here. Adaptive phase rotation. So without actually reading all of this, if we look at, a phase here, we have sort of these off-hanging parts, and these can sort of mess with compressors. They make things look louder than they actually are. It's also a DC offset, so it's just not good. And what phase optimization or adaptive phase rotation does is it puts things in the center. So then we get a maximum sort of oomph from our waveforms. And this can also, phase rotation that's out of rotation can cause super low frequency stuff. And like I said, it messes with compressors. So this is what I've done. These bottom ones are phase optimized and the top ones are the originals. So last time I kind of just played them all together. The bottom ones are now in phase inverted. So whatever we hear that's left, if the top ones, if we hear anything, that's a bad sign, right? If we hear anything, that's a bad sign. But yesterday, I kind of just played everything all at once, which isn't really a fair sort of guesstimation. Do I even have, my microphone's probably hogging my audio device as usual. I realize mastering might be more important than synths. Not really. It's all bare bones. Mastering is, like I said, there's 2 kinds of there's 2 definitions. I don't know. I wouldn't say 2 kinds. It's overall, but mastering is just the final stage. When it comes to synths, if you don't have synths, you got nothing to master. So synths are probably like 10 times more important. It's just mastering is sort of icing on the cake. So Guts down now. Is that coming through? Yes, it is. So like I said, we can hear the snare, the guitar, 2 guitars. I'm pretty sure the piano's there too. So that's not really a fair way of doing it, because we're not totally phase inverting. We're kind of mashing everything together. So for instance, the fair way, so to speak, to do it would be to directly push them against each other. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so bass drum is pretty much optimized. There's no real need to phase optimize the bass drum because we can't hear it. That's a good sign. That means we're not going to be able to get anything more out of the bass drum. So then we're on to the snare drum. This is more of a fair observation here. We can still hear it, and we can hear it quite prevalently, which is a terrible sign. So what is the problem, really? Why do I still have my second snare in here? Mainstream songs get saved by good mastering. Definitely. Okay, so let's reset this, and we'll pull this. So this was the case last time anyway. See, if we look, we have, it's pretty... Remove DC offsets, that doesn't really do anything. I think it's just because it's so noisy on the way in and out. Do I really want to? Like, really, if I put them over top of each other, how much is different? So it looks a little bit thicker. I'm really feeling like I'm not going to be wanting to take advantage of phase optimization here. Bass is bass. We pretty much heard the instruments that were kind of off already. Piano, I'm not sure why piano is off. Like I said, everything looks good, right? See, it looks off a little bit, right? We can see there's some differences here. And if we look at our optimized version, see how centered everything is. We can directly compare those. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to change the color, but it's not a major contributing factor. So it's very minimal, but like just the null test shows how powerful a null test is. You can tastefully be off phase. You can, definitely. Nintendo itself, the original Nintendo, a lot of the waveforms, all the square forms are pretty much right off center. But of course, that's in a time when there wasn't really a master compressor or anything. It's just dangerous to be off phase in some cases. All right, so guitar is off. I know it is because we've heard it already. See, we shouldn't be able to hear it at all. And look at how much different it is. I don't know why this one's so much louder. Maybe I did something wrong. Guitar rhythm, guitar lead. Let's just put these right beside each other. Kind of don't really care for the FL Studio tracking system. Like, I don't feel like I have as much, wouldn't see. What happened? Control, it's just, I don't know. I guess I don't really know the hotkeys as much as I'd like to. So I want this. This. Okay, those are pretty much, yeah. Those are looking good. So definitely you can see right away the guitar here, how much it fits on the top and then on how much it's different on the bottom. I might just have to keep the tracks. I think I'm just going to keep the tracks if that's how drastic it is. So it's a little unfortunate. It's going to weigh down the file itself. Is there a view here? I think that's in the actual thing here, right? To our lead, we right click and we say multi-channel view. Another thing about phases too, we have two different channels as well, right? So they might be phase canceling within themselves. So it's just never ending with the phase. So let's chop all this out here. Since I'm going to keep it, since I've decided to keep it because the lead piano or the lead guitar is in bad shape. Everything else is really well, but might as well keep it anyway. I mean, I could be picky about it and try to get the file as small as possible, but it's just more of a headache to have to figure out which is which and what goes where and this and that. So I'm just going to keep everything as waveforms now going forward for this track. Oops. So now we're sort of working like Pro Tools, which I'm not much of a fan of. So I'm going to highlight all these and we'll go new group. So maybe that's not the right button. New group, group selected. This filter group is called audio tracks. Let's call it audio tracks. Then we'll start routing these out. So bass drum 1, I don't know why they're out of order. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can I? No? Okay, so that's not good. Let's throw this zip on the desktop because I'm not running administrator mode. All I did was try to move the track down. Okay, so we'll save over that one. Yes. Of course, this is probably like a 100 megabyte, 200 megabyte file. Crash, no. But I managed to save it, so we're covered. It just tried to move the track down. I don't know why it's like not happy with that. Just nobody coming through on the band lab today. All right, so let's get this in the background here, and I will switch to this window, and then I'll minimize everything else, so to speak. I was in setup right now and just released a new insane update for which, I always think synthwave, but it's not synthwave. Is it? No, it's something else, right? Okay, so I want to open that file, but I need to do something else. Well, I got to add administrative privileges, but then I can't drag and drop. What a dumb trade-off. Okay, so I'm going to use the UAD or the UAC to take ownership of my workflow location. It's the way Windows works. If you don't vaporwave, if you don't take control of a certain folder or whatever, it doesn't allow you to save and doesn't allow you to save certain things, certain places. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Whoa. Okay, so that's going to take a minute. Oh, man, that's going to take forever. I'm going to cancel that. Might have to do that later. So, no, stop. Okay, so yeah, that's going to take forever. I want to hear this beat. It's the same beat I've been working on for the past like 5 streams. I'll just have to deal with this later as far as UAC. What's more important right now? Drag and drop. I'm just going to have to keep flipping back and forth, I guess. So run as administrator here. I guess I could just always do that. Run as administrator. Just got to remember to do that. My name is Earl Leppermint. Play you a beat, please. From Kick, even. Welcome in. Okay, so I got to open from, I require my triple window here. I got to open from the desktop. Processing. Ozone. Of course, it's opening a million things. Okay, so that's open. However, I want to save. Bear with me. I guess I could do that at the end. There's not really too much crucial stuff going on. Now watch it mess up again. Yeah, see, I don't know, man. It doesn't like that. Weird. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to eyeball it from the list, and there's my wonderful desktop. Okay, wow. Way to go, FL. I guess I could drop my other tracks too, my unprocessed tracks, just so it doesn't have to open them every time. But if I do that, then I lose them. They won't be included in the zip file. But then I could just re-render them, so whatever. Okay, so bass is channel what? No, right click. No, it doesn't have that ability. Okay, so what about like this? No. Okay, so it says up top here. Okay. Send it to bass, channel 6, bass drum 2. And it also says up there, that's bass drum 2, bass drum 1, guitar lead, guitar rhythm, and piano, and snare drum. So not going to be too much of a difference. There might be some level inconsistencies now. Let's check it. These are all off. Turn them on. And my system's falling apart because the maximizer is running, looks like. So let's turn that off. And this is also morph, it's running. So if I turn it off, this is how it's normally supposed to sound. If you look at the balance here. Okay, so I want this back. Okay. So now, let's bring in maximizer. Overload my system. I'm gonna have to look into some more tutorials with Ozone because I want to see how hard I'm supposed to push into Maximus. So now I want to look at sort of the phase loss for individual instruments here because I know I'm losing phase for guitar. So what do we do here? Let's merge that. See, we're losing a lot there, right? Like we're losing, I don't know, a little bit of flair. Look at this thing, it's just packed now. Okay, we could drop this as I don't need it anymore. And what I want to do here to regain some of that phase loss, I'm going to have to do some delay. However, I'm out of time today. I started late. So I'll have to look into that tomorrow, unfortunately. But yeah, so I did get to check out phase cancellation between tracks, and it looked like there was our phase rotation optimization. And it does look like it is helping. So I'm regaining more of the body of the track. And I want to continue to regain more of the body of the track by looking at the stereo image between specific images and see where I'm losing, where it's phase canceling, collapsing sort of on itself. And then I want to expand that by putting them, out of delay a little bit. So they'll play a little later. I'll lose a little bit more, but I'll gain a lot more back. Check out my website, jwpsite.com, for my public offerings, latest news and updates, and social links. If you'd like to help support what I do, check out my Patreon, JWP Patreon. That's with 2 Ps. There's some exclusive content there on how to make your own plugins and synth edit, or my GoFundMe, JWP Fund. If you're watching this on YouTube, a like, comment, and/or subscribe are appreciated. Thanks for watching. Until next time.